If you're looking at your garden right now and thinking, well, I guess planting season is over, I want you to wait before you put away your seeds. Because late summer is not necessarily the end of your garden. For many gardeners, it's actually the beginning of a second opportunity. And today, I'm going to show you 15 crops you may still be able to plant in late summer for a fall harvest. But stay with me, because number 15 is one that many gardeners completely overlook. And there's another crop on this list that can grow surprisingly quickly when the weather begins to cool. But before we get there, let me tell you about something that happened to an elderly gardener named Harold. Harold had been gardening for decades. He wasn't the kind of gardener who needed fancy equipment. He had an old pair of garden gloves hanging beside his back door, a weathered watering can that had probably seen more summers than some of his grandchildren, and an old wooden bench where he would sit every evening and look over his garden. But one August afternoon, Harold walked outside, looked across his vegetable beds and sighed. The tomatoes were beginning to slow down. Some of the beans were looking tired. The summer heat had taken its toll. And Harold thought to himself, that's it. The garden is finished for this year. So, he started cleaning. He pulled out a few plants. He gathered old stakes. He moved his tools into the shed. And then his neighbor, Margaret, walked over. She looked at what Harold was doing and asked, "You're closing the garden already?" Harold laughed. He said, "What else is there to do? Summer is almost over." Margaret smiled. Then she pointed toward one of his empty garden beds. And she said something that made Harold stop. "Who told you the garden has to end when summer ends?" That question changed what Harold did next. Because instead of putting the garden away, he discovered that there was still time to plant. Not everything, not everywhere, and not for every climate, but enough to give his garden another season. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Crop number 1, radishes. The first crop Harold planted was radishes. And there was a reason he started here. Radishes can mature relatively quickly, making them one of the most useful crops when you're working with a shorter growing window. Harold loosened a small patch of soil, scattered his seeds, covered them lightly and watered them. He didn't need a huge garden bed. He didn't need complicated equipment. Just a little space, good soil and the right timing for his local climate. And within a surprisingly short period, those little seeds began pushing their way through the soil. But Harold didn't stop there. Crop to carrots. The second thing he planted was carrots. Now, carrots aren't necessarily as fast as radishes. That's important. If you're planting carrots late, you need to know how much growing time remains before your local first frost. Harold chose a shorter season variety and planted it in loose soil. And here's something he learned. Don't assume that because the weather is getting cooler, nothing will grow. Some root vegetables actually appreciate cooler conditions. And that brings us to our third crop. Crop 3, lettuce. Harold planted lettuce. Now lettuce is one of those crops that can make a gardener feel like they've discovered a secret. Why? Because many varieties prefer cooler temperatures. The same summer heat that can make lettuce struggle can become much easier for it as the season moves toward fall. Harold planted a small amount every few weeks, instead of putting everything in the ground at once. That way, he wasn't waiting for one giant harvest. He was creating a succession of smaller harvests. And that's a lesson worth remembering. You don't always need a bigger garden. Sometimes you just need better timing. Crop for spinach. Next came spinach. Harold remembered something his father used to tell him. Don't fight the season. Work with it. And spinach was a perfect example. As temperatures begin to cool, spinach can become a valuable fall crop. But there is a catch. If your area is still extremely hot, germination can be difficult. So Harold didn't simply throw seeds into dry soil and hope for the best. He kept the seedbed evenly moist while the seeds were getting established and chose a location that could provide some relief from intense afternoon heat. That little bit of preparation made a difference. Crop 5, kale. Then Harold planted kale, and this was one of his favorites. Kale is known for being relatively cold tolerant compared with many warm season vegetables. In some climates, gardeners can harvest it well into cool weather. Harold planted a few seedlings rather than filling the entire bed. He wanted to see how they performed first. And as the weeks passed, those plants began developing larger leaves. But Harold had learned something important. Late-season gardening isn't about planting everything you can think of. It's about choosing crops that match the time you have left. And that brings us to number 6. Crop 6: Swiss chard. Swiss chard was another crop Harold decided to try. He liked it because it could provide colorful, leafy harvests without requiring an enormous amount of space. And unlike some crops that demand constant attention, chard can fit nicely into a manageable garden. Harold planted it along the edge of one of his beds. That little strip of soil that he once thought was useless suddenly became productive. And that's when he realized something. A garden doesn't have to look impressive to be productive. Sometimes the most valuable space in your garden is the little space you've been ignoring. Crop 7: Beets. Next came beets. Harold had almost forgotten about them. He found an old packet of beet seeds in a drawer in his gardening shed. The packet wasn't new, but the idea was. He prepared a section of loose soil and planted them. Beets can be useful as a cool season crop, but again, timing matters. If you're planting late, check your expected first frost and the maturity time of the variety you're using. Harold wasn't trying to win a competition. He simply wanted to see if his garden still had something left to give. And it did. Crop 8: Turnips. Then came turnips. These were another crop Harold considered worth trying, because they can develop relatively quickly compared with some longer season vegetables. He planted them where an earlier summer crop had finished. And this is where Harold discovered one of the great advantages of succession planting. The same piece of soil can produce more than one crop in a year. You don't always have to wait until next spring. Sometimes the space that looks finished is simply waiting for its second act. Crop 9: Mustard greens. Next came mustard greens. Harold wasn't initially excited about them. He said, "I don't even know if anybody in this house likes mustard greens." Margaret laughed. She told him, "Grow them first. Figure out what to do with them later." So, he did. Mustard greens can be particularly useful for cooler season gardening, although the exact timing depends on your climate. And Harold noticed something else. As summer faded, the garden started feeling different. The air became cooler, the soil wasn't drying as quickly, and plants that had struggled during the hottest part of summer began looking happier. Crop 1: Arugula. Then Harold planted arugula. This was one of the crops he became particularly excited about because it can be relatively quick to harvest. He planted a small patch rather than wasting seeds. And he discovered something many gardeners eventually learn. You don't need to plant 100 plants to enjoy harvest. Sometimes a small succession planting is enough to keep fresh greens coming. Crop 11: Green onions. Next came green onions. Harold planted them along the edge of one of his beds. They took up very little space. And because they were so easy to work into meals, they became one of those crops he found himself using constantly. A little chopped green onion on eggs, a little in soup, a little on a salad, and suddenly that tiny piece of garden was contributing to the kitchen almost every day. Crop 1: Peas. Now, this is where we need to be careful. Peas can be an excellent cool season crop, but whether you can plant them in late summer depends heavily on your location and the amount of time remaining before frost. Harold checked his local growing conditions before planting. He wasn't blindly following a calendar. And that's something I want you to remember. Your garden does not know what month it is. Your garden responds to temperature, daylight, soil conditions, and weather. So don't plant something simply because someone on the internet says, "Plant this in August." Check your local conditions. Crop 13: Bush beans. Harold also considered bush beans. Again, this depends heavily on your climate and remaining growing season. If you still have enough warm days, certain bush bean varieties can mature relatively quickly. But if your first frost is approaching, you may be better off choosing a faster cool season crop. And that's why experienced gardeners don't just ask, "What can I plant?" They ask, "What can I plant that has enough time to finish?" That is a much better question. Crop 1: For broccoli. Now we come to broccoli. Harold didn't start broccoli from seed this late. Instead, he looked for healthy transplants. And that saved him time, because when the growing window is getting shorter, starting with a young plant can give you a head start. But again, broccoli is very dependent on climate and timing. In many regions, it's better suited to a fall crop than a hot summer crop. And Harold was beginning to understand something he hadn't appreciated when he was younger. The garden is not a race. It's a conversation with the season. Crop 1 5 a surprise, cilantro. And finally, Harold planted something that wasn't taking up much space at all. Cilantro. He tucked it into a small corner near his other herbs. And this became one of his favorite late-season additions. Cilantro generally prefers cooler conditions and can bolt quickly in hot weather. So a late-season planting can be useful in appropriate climates. Harold didn't need a giant harvest. He just wanted enough to walk outside, cut a little, and bring it into the kitchen. And that tiny herb patch became the perfect ending to his second garden season. A few weeks later, Margaret came back to visit Harold. She expected to see the same garden she had seen earlier, but when she reached the backyard, she stopped. The garden looked completely different. There were green leaves everywhere. Radishes were filling the soil. Carrots were developing beneath the ground. Lettuce was spreading across the beds. Kale stood tall. Swiss chard added color. Turnips and beets were developing beneath the soil, and little herbs filled the spaces between them. Margaret looked at Harold and smiled. "I thought you said the garden was finished." Harold smiled back. Then he said, "I thought so too." And that sentence is really what this entire video is about. Sometimes we look at a season of our lives and decide that it's finished. We look at an empty garden bed and think, there's nothing left here. We look at a difficult year and think, maybe my best days are behind me. But sometimes the problem isn't that the season is over. Sometimes we've simply stopped looking for what can still grow. Harold didn't get another summer. He didn't turn back the calendar. He simply learned how to use the season he still had. And your garden can teach you the same thing. You may not be able to plant everything. You may not have months and months left. But there may still be something you can grow. So before you put away your gardening gloves and decide that your garden is finished for the year, check your local first frost date. Look at the maturity time of the crop you're considering, and see what can still fit into your remaining growing season. And if you found even one crop on this list that you want to try, tell me in the comments. I'm planting. And if you enjoy simple, practical gardening wisdom made especially useful for everyday gardeners and seniors, subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors. Because the season may be changing, but your garden doesn't have to be finished.